Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to give you guys my July 2018 TBR or to be read pile. Excuse the clothes, I just got done working out and I figured while I had a spare 30 minutes or so, I would do a quick video on the books I want to read for the month of July. So hang tight, I've got about 7 to 8 books and let's just get started. Okay, so if you've watched my previous video from like last week or the week before, I decided to join Sam's Thoughts on Tomes Tome Topple Readathon. It's a 2-week readathon, it ends July 12th, and the whole point is to grab a book or more that are slightly on the large scale of 500 pages or more, and that's just kind of intimidated you. And this readathon is just a great way for people who have these really chunky books and try to get them just off your shelf and out of the way and read. And I decided to pick up Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. If you know Les Miserables, it is a ginormous book. And so I've decided to just jump into this for pretty much the month of July. It's like 900 pages, over 900 pages, and the text is super tiny. So I'm hoping to get through this for the month of July, but especially get through a huge chunk of it by July 12th as part of the readathon. I will link Sam's channel, Thoughts on Tomes, down below, so you can go check out her channel and how this all kind of started. I'm trying to get a huge book done through I just hope it doesn't put me into a reading slump. I really don't, but it's a classic and I want to finish it, so let's just do this. Okay, so second book that I picked up for the month of July is The Night Sister by Jennifer McMahon. I have not read any of her books, but I have about 2 or 3 of them on my shelf, and I figured, you know what, it's about time I just pick one up. She does a lot of mystery thrillers. This one I decided to pick up because it just seemed right for the month. I don't know why, but it's about a family back in like the 80s or 70s that owns a hotel, and part of it is a tower. The father has built it. Suddenly, some sort of mystery craziness happens. Fast forward 20, 30 years, and it's still haunting this family, and there's been some murders going on and craziness, and so I like going into mystery thrillers not really knowing a lot, so that's just kind of like the basis of what this is. But at the same time, I'm about 100 pages in, and so far I'm really, really enjoying it. Pick it up, pick it up. The third book I decided to pick up for the month of July as my to be read pile is called The Twisted Ones by Scott Cawthon and Kira Breed Risley. So if you know, Scott Cawthon is the one who designed Five Nights at Freddy's, which is the app. There's like 5 or 6 of them now that you can get on your phones, and it's like this super scary, creepy game that kids play, and then it kind of morphed into like YouTube videos and just total fan-based people that are just completely engulfed in Five Nights at Freddy's. Scholastic Books put out the first one, which I've already read, and I can't even remember what the first one was called, but this is the sequel to it, The Twisted Ones. I'm not quite sure if it follows the same kids from the first one, but it kind of actually gives you the story of how Five Nights at Freddy's really started, and that's why it's like this creepy game or whatever. Anyways, I liked the first book. It wasn't too bad. I got it at one of my kids' Scholastic book fairs. Me and my book fairs. Anyways, they offered this one back in May, and so I picked it up and I figured I'd just continue with the series and let's see how we like it. The fourth book that I'm going to try to get through July is another Flavia de Luce book by Alan Bradley. This one is called I Am Half Sick of Shadows, book number 4. So I've already read the first 3, and I try to continue with 1 book a month because there's like 9 of them, I believe. And it's about this young girl who's about 11 or 12, and she is completely obsessed with death and murders, and she tries to, she's like a little detective, and she tries to go through them, and she's just quirky and weird and funny. She actually has quite a sassy, like sarcastic sense of humor, and she lives in this town that's just full of all these, like snobby people and your creepy people and your weird people, and just murder seems to always follow this girl, and she is always sucked into it and kind of goes on and does her own detective thing. So I'm gonna just keep on continuing with this series and see if it just keeps getting better and better. The next book that I want to try getting to for the month of July is Flight by Angie Sage. This is the second book in the Septimus Heap series. I did an audiobook for the first one, Magic, that I did with my 12-year-old, and we really enjoyed it. It's kind of got this Harry Potter feel to it, but of course it's much differently, but it does have wizards, it's got weird creatures in it. It's definitely a middle grade series. I think there's about seven books in it. I don't want to give too much away because this is a second one to it, but Septimus Heap is about a young boy who supposedly dies when he's like when he's a baby. And so it's pretty much like his family and trying to protect this princess that they had found and adopted when she was a baby. And so their adventure ensues. We'll see how it goes. The next book I want to get to for the month of July is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I actually picked up the audiobook several months ago when it was like super cheap. It was like $5.95 or whatever. I didn't even use one of my credits for it. I've already started on this on Audible and I am really loving it so far. The narrator I've listened to audiobooks from her before. Her name is Davina Porter, and her accent, her British accent, is just so soothing, but at the same time, like, you can't help but just like get engulfed in the story that she is telling you or reading to you. And anyways, so this is about a young girl set in like the late 1600s, I want to say, in London. Yes, London. An older man who is well known for like bartering and trading and exporting, importing stuff for Amsterdam asks this 18-year-old girl to marry him, and she agrees and she goes to his house, but things aren't as what they seem, and it's a little strange, it's a little odd, and you're trying to figure out who can you trust and what's going on and why are things so weird with this family and this house, and I'm really liking it so far. And last but not least, the last book I want to try getting to this month is continuing on with the Michael Vey series. This is book number 3 by Richard Paul Evans. This is The Battle of the Empire? I don't know, it's spelled weird. I'm gonna say Empire. It's not Empire, that's all I know. Anyways, I've really liked book 1 and 2, and so I'm excited to get back into this series. There's at least 6 to 7 books in this series, and just like the Flavia de Luce series, I want to try getting at least one book in the series done each month, so this would be book 3 for me. Not to give anything away, but at the very beginning of the first book, it's about a young boy and a bunch of his friends that supposedly have these electrical powers. Kind of like superheroes, but not really. This is just their adventure trying to escape the evil people that are pretty much trying to make them into test subjects and just make the world a better place and rid the people that are evil and trying to take advantage of these children that have these special electrical powers. So I'm excited to get back into the series, and I can't wait to see what happens next with Michael Vey. All right, there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me on my July TBR. Hopefully I can get through all of them. I may not finish Les Miserables because it is quite a chunker, and I may need to take some breaks here and there and just throw in a different book because it is such a lengthy book, and it's like French, pretty much. So a lot of times I'm kind of confused in some ways, but at the same time, I'm trying to just take my time with it, digest it, see how it's going. So anyways, what are some books that you're looking forward to in the month of July? I would love to hear. If these are any of the books that you have maybe read in the past or have liked or disliked, let me know, but just no spoilers, please. I like to kind of keep an open mind. So thank you so much for joining. Please subscribe and like my video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Also too, don't mind my awesome mess over here. So I'm trying to figure out what books I want to get rid of and unhaul, because I want to do that like unhaul challenge. And so far, this is some of the books that I'm trying to get rid of. So, but hey, the rest of my shelves look amazing. Yeah, I'm on top of it. I think we're done here.